Now hold on, what's all this? That ain't supposed to be there. Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back. There we go, much better. How are we today? I hope everyone's doing fantastically, because we are in for a fantastical ride today. This is going to be episode 3, of course, of our adventures in Dungeon World. We have been running through the magical city of Racedis on our adventures with our party members. This party is a group of arena fighters in the Racedis Arena, and they've been doing all right for themselves. We'll go into a full sort of, catch-up in just a moment. First, let's talk to chat. How's everyone doing? Sander, hello. Yes. Yeah, I've been working on some additional other stuff for stream, so there are some things that might not be fully updated right now. Let me check on those. Let's see. I think the inventory needs to be updated. There we go. There's 1. There's 2. And here is, let's see, 3. And then we've got our bag of books down to 4 uses. Okay. So, with your prize money now in hand, I just want to say that I think tomorrow we're going to start doing these sort of spout lore streams. These are the ones that are going to be actually they're not going to be streams. Sorry, we're going to be doing these spout lore sessions on Fridays at 1. Now throughout the week you will have additional chances to jump into the conversation, but so tomorrow at the same time as it is today, tomorrow, so in 24 hours, we're going to be doing the streams that will determine in the Discord. We'll be doing the votes for what spells does Halvir prepare. I'm going to be setting up an item shop so that the different teams can go shopping and use up their gold as they wish. That might take a little while to implement, but I do know that starting tomorrow we're going to be doing at 1 o'clock. Just in chat we're going to be doing the Discord meetups to talk about all the different options we've got for this. So, where were we? Well, I think we've got a tiny little bit of summary to do, and then we're going to be jumping in and doing our adventure for the day. If y'all remember, it's another arena week. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the permanent situation where we go back and forth between arena weeks and sort of out in the world weeks, but it's been an okay balance so far, and the timing on it is pretty nice as well. Okay, and I want to adjust one thing here. Oh, no, actually that's fine. Okay, we're good. So, if anyone would like to join up to one of our teams, I would absolutely welcome it. Please read the rules first, and then if you meet the requirements, you'll be able to join the party. Otherwise, you can join the mob, and I'll be asking for periodic help with the mob to aid me in making things a little bit more challenging for our party. So, let me kick the jukebox real quick. Take this down here. So, please let me know how my sound balance is. I definitely don't want to be, you know, overpowering everyone with the audio here. Last time on Chat Plays Dungeon World, our party met with their manager, Ugene. He is a Triton, which means he is a mer person, essentially, and he lives in a cistern, you know, halfway up one of the Racedis towers. In this magical metropolis, there's an enormous sewer system, and he lives in one of the freshwater catchment basins. But it turns out that the goblin group that you fought last time, Munda, was not pleased. They are vehemently anti-magic, and they were not happy with being put up against a magic-using party. As such, they decided to get back at your crew, and they did so by way of your manager. They left a bunch of what you found out are maggot squids. They found a bunch of them, they collected a bunch of them and stuck them into Ugene's house, into this big pool that he calls home. This is not ideal for him, obviously, but it's not ideal for you either, because that's where your winnings were. You had each won 5 gold for the goblin fight, and as such, Ugene had dashed home and put it away for safekeeping. Unfortunately, the chest that he put it in was down at the bottom of his cistern, so he has he had to bring you back to his home at the basin, and he enlisted your help in trying to get your winnings out of this chest. Now, it was a challenging day for y'all, wasn't it? Last week was challenging for the party. We had a couple of close calls, shall we say. Lenath spent a lot of time underneath that water, swimming, holding breath. At the end of the day, you were able to get the winnings out of the chest, but you weren't able to solve his big problem, which is a home full of maggot squids. So it's possible you'll have to deal with that sort of thing again later at some point. We shall see. So, with that said, let's proceed to today. It's the day of another arena fight. You are feeling prepared. You are ready to go. Your week has been, other than your big run-in with Ugene's house, your week has been fairly uneventful. But you know that very soon you're going to have to be going on a promotional tour. Now, what does that mean? For arena fighters, a promotional tour typically involves going around and solving various problems for people around town. This is all to gin up enthusiasm for your group of fighters and to try and get people to come and watch your fight and cheer you on, make bets on you, and just overall sort of build your brand as fighters. Ugene has been talking to you a lot recently. He has been very encouraged by your success in the goblin fight, and, well, he thinks you could be great, but he does think you're going to need a name. Now, we will have to decide that in the Discord. That'll be one of the things that we do tomorrow. But that's not the only thing going on in your personal lives. You know that you've got this tour coming up, this promotional tour around Racedis, and trying to gin up some favor your way. Additionally, you know that a few of you have some other engagements. Celius has been largely unaffected by this. Celius is off doing what Celius does. We will catch back up with Celius in a bit. But what's most important right now is that Lenath has received a summons. It would seem that the matriarch of Lenath's Ranger Lodge has called a moot. Now, a moot is something that the Ranger Lodges, there are various Ranger Lodges, each one has its own customs and traditions, but yours, Lenath, yours is calling a moot, and you know that this means you're going to have to take a bit of a journey outside of town. This will all be coming up later. And And so this is what's kind of running through your mind as you rise up through the sand in the arena. Prior to this, you were all hanging out in your sort of rented locker room underneath the arena. It's dark, it's dusty down here, it's a little rough, but you step into the sands of underneath the arena and you feel yourself being drawn upward. As you progress, Celius is thinking about whatever Celius got up to. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow as well. I just have a bit of a clearer picture, I think, of Lenath and Halvir. Lenath is thinking about the moot that is going to be required to meet up with their ranger group. And then Halvir is feeling strangely connected here. We've talked a little bit in the Discord so far, in some of our lore discussions, about how a lot of Halvir's magic is sort of based on drawing strength from the elements, the 4 elements: air, water, earth, fire. And, you know, even though they aren't, you know, a bender, like the Avatar or something, great show, I would definitely suggest you watch that, they do draw strength from it. But their powers are a little bit more varied than simply controlling the elements. So, who's ready to get started today? You drift upward through the sand, and you emerge into a set of ruins. Now, what's going on here? Well, every time the arena comes up for the week, even as we've discussed, the technicians, the sort of mages that coerce and try to bend the magic of the arena to give an entertaining fight, the arena seems to have a mind of its own as well. And this week, it would appear that the arena has summoned up from its deep magical sands ruins. This is what you see when you enter. You are thrust up through the sands, and you find yourselves in a collection of ruins. They are dusty and very sandy. It seems like the sand continues to play an important part here, but it looks sort of, maybe perhaps vaguely familiar. This is a style that is common to some of the desert civilizations, and some of you may have seen it depicted before. But you know, as you hear the roar outside and above, because the crumbled-in ceiling gives a view down into these ruins, you know that this is the fight that you are dealing with today. The arena has summoned for you a collection of ruins, and you are going to have to fight your way through. So, everyone, as you listen to the roar of the crowd outside, somewhat dulled by the soft, echoes of the ruins that you're in here, each of you looks around, and it's completely quiet. It's completely quiet down here in the ruins. You can smell sort of the heat coming off of the sand, and you can feel it humming on your skin. What do you do? And for anyone who doesn't know what this is or what we're about here, this is Chat Plays Dungeon World, and we have 3 different teams in chat that everyone can join if they wish, where you can help me to control what is going on with our 3 teams. So, let's see. Oh, we've got a couple of people have joined in on the teams there. Go ahead and everyone take a second. If you want to, just spam some controls really quick. Let me go ahead and give everybody a little bit of heat to do so. You're looking around. You're not exactly sure what's going to be coming up next. to adjust one of my settings here really quickly. And I can take orders from any one of the teams right now. Who's up? Who's jumping in? Sander, Tuna, who we got today? Our teams are quiet. All right, chat, what's the story? You have found yourselves in the middle of these ruins here. And that's right. You know, I've always assumed that, you know, this might get a little complicated, especially in the early stages before we've got people joining the different teams. So yeah, if y'all had to step away, that's totally all right. In the future, hopefully we'll have enough people in here to just, you know, control them all the time. So if other people have to step away, it's no problem. We are in the middle of some ruins. The sand has brought you up, and it appears that the arena has conjured for you today ruins of some sort of desert civilization. The ceiling is opened up, and you can hear the cheering of the crowd outside, and you can see some of the stands there, so they can see in on the action. But this is what you're going to have to fight through today. And we have, here we go. Okay, we're in business. Javier is going to discern realities about, when you do discern realities, one thing to note is that you will discern realities about something. It'll be about something here in the scene, and then you will ask me about that thing, you know, some collection of these questions. So, let's see, what kind of roll did we get? We got a 7. Okay, and this is going to be plus wisdom. So, let me jump over to our character sheets here. And, I've got this, you know, I've got these ruins up here. I don't have, you know, like different scenes for every single room here, but I am wondering, for y'all, do you like to sort of have this up on the screen, or would you prefer to keep the character sheets up on screen? All right. Now, our wizard, I believe, has a +1 to their wisdom, so that is going to turn that into an 8, which means it's a partial success. You get to ask one of these things. All right, you're looking for an enemy. What should you be on the lookout for? Okay. That's a partial success. So I think what you suss out is that you're looking around. It's very quiet here in the ruins themselves. You peer back and forth. You can hear the roar of the crowd outside, dulled by the walls here, but as you look past the archway in front of you, you see a large rectangular room with a series of pillars, ruined pillars, and you are looking into the other room, and you can see statues, much like there are on the wall here. And I've got the instinct to ping them like I would in Roll20, but I can't do that on here. But much like you see, you know, over there on the other side of the doorway, you see some statues. And as you're watching, one of them steps down and skitters over behind one of the pillars. It looks to be a statue of perhaps some dog-like creature. It's got a human body and a dog's face. but you've got a pretty good idea that you don't want to tangle with that too much. So that's what you got to be on the lookout for. There appear to be some hidden enemies at play here. All right, who's up? What do you do? Popcorn initiative. You got your enemies in your sights. Let's see. Okay, Celius is going to make a move. Celius is going to try and hack and slash. Let's see. I'm going to have you first make a defy danger to try and get over to the thing before it... Well, let's see. Hack and slash enemies. Okay, so you've only spotted one so far. And really it was Halvir that did it, and I think Halvir points this out to the rest of the party. But Celius does go ahead and try to make a... I think it's going to be just essentially kind of a sprint into the other room to try and catch up with this thing before it disappears. So, I'm going to have Celius make a defy danger with dexterity roll. Just to get close enough to it to make it happen quickly. Okay. So, you got a 7 on 2d6. So you sprint your way over there, and I think you get there just in time to catch up to it as... let's see. I think you're going to have one chance to take a swing at it before it scampers up this pillar here. You get a closer look at it here, and you can see that it appears to be made of the same stone as the walls. It appears to be this sort of yellowy, dusty sandstone. And you can see it is essentially made of this, and you can hear a very quiet sort of grinding as its joints move together. But I'm going to give you've got one opportunity to get at it before it heads up this pillar here. And what did we roll? It was a 7 on 2d6, but this is a strength check, and I believe you've got +2 strength, so that is going to be a 9. Excellent. And by the way, y'all, don't forget to remind me, anytime that after the math, you get a full failure, so a 6 or below, again, that's after the math, please remind me to mark off XP, because Celius the Hungry, for instance, is 1 XP away from leveling up. So, some of y'all are pretty close here. And, Lenaith, I would love to hear from your team next. First, however, you can go ahead and put that in chat if you wish. But first, I am going to fill out the rest of this. Let's see. So you got a hit on this thing, Celius. So Celius, the Minotaur, sprints into the next room through this archway here and disappears behind one of the pillars. Celius, you bring your enormous sword in a wide arc up at this thing, and you manage to get an enormous slice on it. A 9 on a d10 is not bad at all. And I think you managed to cut this thing down off of this. You can tell it doesn't appear to be particularly strong. I should say it's not particularly tough, but it does blend in super well. And that appears to be its great strength here. Let's see. Okay. I've lost my stat sheet for it. Hold up a sec. There we go. Okay. But you are also going to, as a result of your 7 to 9, you are going to open yourself up to an attack from this creature. And so it spins around and slashes its claws toward you. And you are going to take 1d6 damage. Oops, that's not it. I forgot I've got a different panel set up for this. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you take 2 damage, but I believe that is going to be mitigated by your armor, so you are currently at 8 out of 9 hit points. Okay, who's up? I'm taking orders from anybody. Lenath, I think I'm going to jump in for you, unless I get an order from you pretty quick here. I think, and once again, I'm going to turn all of this over fully to the teams once we've got enough people in here to, handle it full time. So, Team Lenath, I think the Ranger is going to try and hunt and track, I think seems like a good option. And then we'll come to you next, Halvir. Hunt and track. So, when you follow a trail of clues left behind by passing creatures, roll plus wisdom. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2d6 for Team Lenath. Good luck, folks. Ooh, a 4. Not ideal. This is going to be plus wisdom, which I don't believe is going to do the trick for you. Let's see. Plus wisdom, that's only a +1, so that's a 5. So you are going to go ahead and mark XP here. All right. So this is a full failure, which means that we are going to take an opportunity for the mob to take a move here. Mob, anyone who wishes to vote for the mob here can go ahead and join, and you can just read out the number value to, or I should say the letter value that y'all are interested in pursuing here. What is it that we would like to do for our group here? Do we want to use a monster, danger, or location move? Do we want to reveal an unwelcome truth? Do we want to show signs of an approaching threat? Deal damage? Do we want to use up their resources? Turn a move back on them? Do we want to separate them? Give them an opportunity that fits class abilities? These are all options within our... We've got a couple more as well, but these are options within our mob. And this is available to anyone. This is kind of the pre-thing. You can deal with the mob even before you fit all the requirements for joining up with the party. What do we like, mob? I think what I like, unless somebody wants to throw something in chat, I think I like the idea of revealing an unwelcome truth. So, here's our unwelcome truth, crew. Lenath, you are looking on the ground for tracks here. And as you hunt, you can see a lot of them. There are many, many tracks here, and you're getting concerned for the safety of you and your party. You look at the ground and you can see crisscrossing dozens of these tracks, and they cross from different rooms, but to the point where it's impossible to follow them all. You can't tell where they'll all go. So, Team Halvir, what do we like? What do you do? You're watching, you've just watched Team Celius. You just watched Celius head over and basically annihilate one of these creatures, and it falls to the ground dead. Meanwhile, Lenath is looking around and looking pretty concerned, staring at the sand in the doorway. I'll take it from Team Halvir, but any team will do. The crowd outside, as Celius cleaves this creature in two, roars. It would appear that this seems to be more of a challenge fight than a sort of an adversary fight. You aren't put up against another team here that you're trying to best. This is a challenge put forth by the arena itself. All right. So, Halvir is going to try and detect magic. So this is specifically one that would allow you to perceive magic that already exists in the world. But I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to get an idea of what magic might help here. So I think let's see. So one of your senses is briefly attuned to magic. What? Let's see. Which one of your senses, Sander? Which one of Javier's senses do we think is sort of attuned to magic right now? Is it sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch or hearing? How are they getting this? How are they getting this information about the magic that they're dealing with? And then we'll see where we go from there. Because you got a 5, which, including your +2 to intelligence, is going to be a 7. It's going to be a partial success. So with that, you're going to go ahead and choose one of the options there underneath spell casting. The options are to, and you already know this, this is for people who are listening, you're either going to draw unwelcome attention, you're going to disturb the fabric of reality and make spellcasting a little bit more challenging, or you're going to forget this particular spell until the next time you've got a chance to prepare spells. Okay. You draw unwelcome attention or put yourself in a spot, the GM will tell you how. So, first of all, I'll give you what you gained from this. You can definitely sense a sort of an almost hive-like magic that is binding these creatures to the arena itself. They have been born of, it looks like the same stone as the walls around you, and you can see a sort of, let's see, what would it be? As you're looking at these the wall ruins, you can see them almost churn, sort of extra perceptively, almost as if it were an optical illusion. But you can see the walls kind of churn a little bit, and you can sense that there's a connection between the arena and these creatures. The arena is what gives these creatures their life, and as such, you are going to have a chance to see these creatures before. I'll jump into the Discord for the audio, but I'm not gonna be able to take the orders from the Discord because there's too much on the screen at one time. So here I am. I'm up at the Discord. Yeah, hopefully the delay shouldn't be too challenging anyway. But for this, anyone who is going to, I should say Javier specifically, Javier is going to take a +1 anytime you are trying to see these things when they're in their hidden state, because you have detected the magic that sort of gives them their life, and so you are starting to be able to see the difference between an actual stone statue and one of these creatures that is hiding. So, anytime you are trying to look for them in the future during this session, you're going to get a +1 to spotting them, because you can see the sort of magical churn that connects them to the arena. Okay, who's up next? Any team can go ahead and jump in. We don't know we haven't heard from Celius in a minute here. Team Celius, what do you do? Outside, you can hear the arena announcer, and the announcer has this enormous, ridiculous voice, and they are shouting a little bit about, you know, what is, they're sort of doing the play-by-play of what's happening during this fight. So you can hear their voice echoing over the top of the crowd. It appears that the wizard has spotted the arena's magical mystery. The creatures, controlled by the arena itself, hide until they see an opportunity to attack. We also have to pick voices for these folks and for each of our PCs, finally. So I think we're going to be doing that during tomorrow's Spout Lore session. Tuna is wondering, does Celius get any type of advantage to target an enemy? I think because this is specifically a spell that allows Halvir to see magic, Halvir will be able to direct you and can confer that +1 onto you, but just by yourself, you do not. And as far as you know right now, you don't see any others yet. None of you can see any of them. You can see, unfortunately, plenty of statues lining the walls. All different shapes. Some of them are very human-shaped, albeit smaller. I would say the tallest ranges at about 3 feet, and all made out of this sort of sandstone-type material. But you can see them. They line the walls. They're in nooks, above archways, to the sides of doorways, at the tops of some of these pillars. You can see some of them are fallen on the ground. And so you look around, having destroyed one of these things with a mighty sword hit, and Celius, Halvir, Lenaith, you look around and think, there could be a lot of these things. You can, let's see, I think discern realities would probably be the right answer, yeah, in order to spot these. Or, I'll tell you what, just make a, you can just make a wisdom saving throw. I think we'll make that our go-to spot creature. A wisdom saving throw to try and spot these things. Your feet shift in the sand. You can feel the sun beating down on you, and you look around and you can see the... how do you do a wisdom saving throw in Mixer? It should be... sorry, defy danger. I've played some other games as well, and so if I ever say saving throw, I mean defy danger. Defy danger with wisdom. Okay, here we go. So, a 10 on 2d6. Okay, immediately you spot there's a fallen pillar next to you, and on the top of it, where the pillar used to be upright, there would have been on top of it. It looks like a little statuette of like a griffin. It seems some four-legged, feathered flying creature with a beak, and you are looking around and you see this thing at your feet, and it turns its head ever so slightly to look at you. What do? You still got a chance to take an action. That was a full success, so it doesn't get to do anything. You got a chance to spot it before it had an opportunity to act. Yeah, I play a couple of different games, so I occasionally get my terminology mixed up. It's saving throws in Dungeons & Dragons. It's defy danger in Dungeon World. Okay, gonna hack and slash. The only thing you can see. Okay, so yeah, you bring your sword swinging over your head, Celius, and it plunges into the sand with a 3. A +2 will only give you a 5, so you do get XP, which means, Celius, you have leveled up. From the outside of the arena, you can hear the announcer. The creatures have managed to pull one over on our adventurers. And as the announcer says this, you plunge your sword into the sand, and this creature lunges into action. It's very quick when it moves, and you can hear its little grinding like joints as it moves, and it is going to try and get you. It is going to attack with the element of surprise. Oh. Also, I'm just looking at my PDF right now, and I've just realized I was so confused the first week because it just looked like it said do damage. It doesn't say do damage, it says D6, and the font makes the parts of it just fade out. Okay. So, yeah, this is going to do D6 damage, and then it is going to fly away. So, let me head to my control panel really quickly here. What kind of damage are we going to do? Okay, a 4. One of which is negated by your armor. So, Celius, you are at 5 out of 9 hit points right now. Okay, you're still feeling all right, but you're close down to about half health there. But you're still in fine fighting shape. And this thing is going to flee up to one of the walls. It is going to take flight. You can see its stone wings flapping. And it soars around a number of the pillars, and then you can see it passes behind one of them and disappears. All right, who's up next? Javier is going to cast Magic Missile at the one of them just to see what happens. And are you, Sandra, are you casting one just at one of the random statues, or are you going to try and use your +1 to see which one is a statue and which one is a creature? At one of the statues at random. Okay. Let's see. With a 12, you blast this thing. So it is a first level evocation. You cast projectiles of pure magic from your fingers. But I do imagine that, it takes on some of this sort of elemental manipulation flavor. So, Sandra, which element, this is purely for narrative interest, which of the 4 elements do you like your magic missiles to be made out of? Also, you have rolled a 3 on 2d4. Okay, so magical fire springs from your fingertips, and although not amounting to a full fireball, you've been studying that one. You don't have the hang of it yet, but at let's see, at 6 XP, you might have the hang of it in the future. I don't remember what level spell that is, but you've been working on it. Hopefully you'll master it soon. But you've got this magical fire springs from your fingertips and blasts apart one of these statues. It shatters and falls to the ground. And you look around, and you can see that one of the other statues immediately leaps out of the way, thinking that it might have been the target of this one, and flees into the next room. So right now, Lenath and Javier are still in the room in which you started. It's this smaller square room with the rubble around you that we see on the screen here. And then Celius has advanced into the next room, where there was some more immediate threat. But this creature now scampers into the other room with Celius. All right, gang, what do you do? I think I'm going to take a quick turn for Lenath here. Let's see. What do we like? I think Lenath is good because it's moving. Anytime it's not in like hidden form, you're going to have a chance to take a look at it. And so I think, Javier did a good job of scaring up one of these. And so Lenath is going to have a chance to take a shot at it. And I think Lenath is also going to command their animal companion to help out. So, we're going to add its ferocity, 3 to the damage, and I'm going to go ahead and roll for a volley shot here. So this is for Lenath. This is going to be, a 3 plus, oof. This is a 3 plus 2 for the dexterity, but that only gets it up to a 5, which means that is going to be 6 XP for Lenath, and I think what's going to happen here is that this creature almost dissolves into stone. It doesn't literally dissolve. You just see that suddenly you have sort of lost focus on it, and it has blended in with the stonework once again. Okay, who's up next? I'll take one from anybody. From out in the arena, you can hear, "A brave attempt at magic from Halvir the wizard. It seems to have scared up one of their adversaries. Leneath, the ranger, takes a shot, but misses." Yeah, you can see, Leneath, you can see your hawk dives at this creature and then, unfortunately, misses as it disappears back into the stonework. It's blending in here. You're not sure exactly where these things are. There is, of course, the one next to Celius, who I believe, let's see. Yeah, the one next to Celius took a hack at it, and then it flew away. Celius, I think where we're at right now is that they have both disappeared. So you're gonna need to take a quick defy danger with wisdom check. Okay, let's see. A 5. Uh-oh, I don't think you've got a +2. You got a +0. Okay. Well, you are racking up XP. But I think as a result of this, you don't have the opportunity to make your hack and slash attack. But it does give me a chance to make a full move here, and you are indeed going to get oh no'd. You can hear a grinding sort of shriek. It sounds like... and from behind you, you notice you see it just a second too late, as an enormous creature with multiple heads. It depicts an enormous creature. The actual sandstone thing that's leaping at you is, once again, only about 2.5 feet tall, but it leaps at you and roars and hits you with its ram head, and you are going to take 2d6, not 2d6, sorry, 1d6 damage. But it is right in front of you now. Nope, not 2d6. I said 2d6 and then I rolled it. Shouldn't have. Okay, that one's only a 1. So, your armor actually manages to deflect this. And by armor for you specifically, Celius, it's your tough Minotaur hide deflects this on your on your lithe body. But there is one in front of you now. It is clear and present in front of you. What do you do, gang? What is the plan? All right, Halvir is going to spout lore about what the aim of the game is. Destroy all the monsters or get through the rooms. Okay, so, yeah, you're trying to understand like what it is the arena sort of expects from you here. And part of it is always just the entertainment of the crowd. But let's see what we can find out. Now, a 10 is a very good roll. Let's see, it's plus intelligence, so that's a total of 12. You are in good shape here. What's the aim of the game? On a 10+, the GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. Okay, excellent. So here's what I'm going to do. You're sort of detecting magic. It's as it's wearing off. You've cast the spell. It's wearing off here. You don't. It's not permanent. Like you don't. Perpetually detect the magic from here on out, but as it fades down, it suddenly flares up, and for a brief moment, you can see through a maze of this, and part of this is visual. Part of this is simply that you are sort of like understanding the magic that drives the arena for just a moment. You can see through this, through a series of walls of ruins here, to what looks like the center of a maze. And in the center of this maze, you can see something casting off a magical aura. Now this thing, whatever it is tied directly by beams of magic to all of these creatures. You just get a very brief glimpse before it goes out, but you understand that when you manage to control this thing, this, we'll call it an artifact, this artifact in the middle of the maze, you will have defeated these creatures and won the fight. That's a solid move, Halvir. So Halvir has gained some insight into the overall sort of the purpose of this game here. And Halvir, I would assume, kind of communicates this to the rest of the party. So the rest of you, you are now aware that there is a bit of a maze to get through. It didn't look like it was terribly long. You know, it didn't look like it was miles and miles of maze. But you are going to have to go through a series of rooms here before you can get to this artifact and officially defeat all of these creatures. All right, teams, what do you do? And I'm also getting the sense that there's some sort of delay going on. And okay, so Tuna says Celius is going to start through the maze. Fantastic. Okay. So I think, let's see, in order to, and then Halvir is going to attempt to go to the next room as well. I think, and I think Linnaeus will follow here. Anyone, by the way, who joins Team Linnaeus can go ahead and take over there. So the three of you are progressing to what you hope is kind of the next room closer. I'm going to go ahead and say, why don't one of you make an intelligence check? Linnaeus was in the doorway. Linnaeus took a shot through, but ultimately it doesn't matter so much. A lot of this sort of, you know, unless we start to play on an actual map or with grids or something, which I've got plans for in the future, we shall see. But let's see, defy danger with quick thinking plus intelligence. Yep, so this is an intelligence check, and I think Halvir is probably the one to make this check as well, with their +2. This is going to help determine how effectively you're able to get through the maze. So, on a, let's see, you got a 5 plus your 2, that's going to be a partial success. On a 7 to 9, you're going to stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Yeah, Halvir definitely has the best intelligence. So, here's what's going to happen. You get a bit of an ugly choice. You can see that you could head straight into the next room. And you know that based on what you saw, Halvir, you can see that this room immediately in front of you, it's through a circular sort of doorway that you would have to climb up and through a little bit. You know this would get you closer to the artifact at the center. But you can also see a bit of that residual haze coming from a statue on either side of this circular pathway here. There is, however, another doorway that you could go through, a big rectangular one, and this one you think is clear, but it's not going to take you closer to the center of the maze. So, that's the choice, folks. Where are we heading? Closer to the middle? I think this is going to be a good opportunity for a poll. So I'm going to just let the whole group decide. You are going to have, let's see, I'm going to say 45 seconds. Yeah, which way are y'all going to head through together? Let's see, past two creatures toward the center, or the safer direction, the safer door away from the center. Okay. Go ahead and vote in that poll. We will see what the results are in 45 seconds. Meanwhile, anyone who's watching right now can go ahead and join the adventure via Mixplay. If you're watching on mobile, you can go ahead and use the 3 dots in the corner of your screen to pull up a little menu and hit, I think it's like turn on Mixplay or activate Mixplay. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and play this on mobile. Anyone who's on desktop or tablet, it should be open already. Outside, you can hear the voice once more.
A crossroads. The body must determine to head closer to center, or find another way through the maze. But will they expose themselves to greater danger on the way?
I don't know if anyone's seen Gladiator, but that's the announcer that I picked for this particular adventure here. Okay. Okay, we're heading past the 2 creatures. So, I think, well, okay, so what are the 3 of you going to do about these creatures here? Sandra says, I think the delay is somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Alright, gang. You're heading past these creatures. You feel pretty confident. You know what's going to happen when you walk past them. They are going to jump out and they're going to try and get you. So either you can try, you can do anything you can think of here. I think Lenath is going to try and just dart through as quickly as possible. Javier is not taking any funny business. Rolling a 6 that boosts it up to a 7 and an 8. That's an 8 for casting your magic missile spell. So I think once again, unless you tell me otherwise, these flames shoot out of your fingers, and they're going to deal 2d4 damage. So you do definitely manage to deal your damage here, and a 7. That ain't bad at all, and I think you managed to cast this fire, and it cuts swaths, and you can see this creature sort of starts to glow from a whole bunch of cracks that suddenly appear in it, and then it shatters and falls to the ground, where the individual pieces of this sandstone seem to just melt into the sand itself. All right, and Sander knows what's up, so thank you for that. A is going to be drawing some unwelcome attention, so I think aid would only get you up to a 9. You got a 6 plus 2 is 7, 8. That would only get you up to a 9 if somebody were to successfully aid you. So in this case, it wouldn't help. And I think what's going to happen is you are going to get put in the spot of getting smacked. What the other creature leaps off of the wall and slithers towards you because it was a for the next attack. Do you mean like helping your group sort of perceive these things? That's probably what you mean. You can clarify while I tell you what's going on. You see this creature slither towards you. The form that it took next to this circle was a snake wrapped around what looked like a small tree, kind of like a bonsai kind of thing, and it slithers down and snakes towards you at shocking speed, and you get bit. So let's see. Without any without any armor, I don't believe you've got any. I think that is going to be 2 hit points away. So that brings you down to a 2 out of 4. So you are at about half strength here, Halvir. It's a tough spot to be in, but I think, let's see. Who can help you out here? It's a tough spot to be in, but you're certainly not down yet. Let's see. Okay. Let's try... I think Celius, by the way, can go ahead and take a move whenever you wish. And also, Lenath, if anyone wants to jump in, I will take your answer over my answer here. But because I don't know we've got anybody in for Team Lenath right now, I will go ahead and make our attack here. I think Lenath is going to do the same thing as before. They're going to command Celius. Yes, this other one, because it attacked. Yes, you can definitely see it to make your attack here. Hack and slash, you know who. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you bring your Celius brings the sword, this enormous broad sword, cleaving down into the sand, and let's see, a 6, 7, 8. That isn't bad at all. It is a partial success. So you're going to do your damage. That is a 5 out of 1d10. Let's see. So a 5. You notice that your sword doesn't cut through it as easily as you cut through, say, a goblin. So it's got a little bit of resistance to it. You know, you can sense there might be some armor involved here, but you do manage to kill the thing. But it thrashes around before you do and manages to get a bite on you. And with this bite, it is going to do 1d6 damage. Let's see. A 4. So one of that is negated, but you do manage to kill the thing. So they are both dead now, and you've got free passage into the next room, which is closer to your goal here. Okay, but taking 3 damage after your armor, that's nothing to giggle at in the position that you're in. You are now down to 2 out of 9 hit points, and I imagine feeling pretty shaky. Not literally shaky, not according to the rules, but Celius, I think you're really feeling this hit. You've got some you've got the bite marks in your arm, and you've got where you were slashed before, probably on one of your let's see, I think it was on the back of your shoulder, and I think you can see something dark dripping into the sand around you. I think what's going to happen next is I'm going to take a quick move for Lenath here. Let's see. All right, what's Lenath going to get up to? Lenath is going to try to do something to kind of spot these things before, before they can get to you. What do we got? We've got hunt and track. I think I'm going to try hunt and track again, because we're in a new room where there's a new opportunity to kind of take a look at this. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2d6 for Lenath. Brian Lynch, welcome to Scooter Patrol. Hold on tight, buddy. All right. That is a 10 on 2d6. So plus the wisdom, I believe, is going to be an 11. That is a full success, which means that on a 10 plus, you also choose 1. Okay, so on a 7, you follow the creature's trail until there's a significant change in its direction or mode of travel. So, first of all, Lenath holds up a finger and then advances through the doorway. And when there, you can see Celius, Halvir, you can see Lenath very carefully, almost on all fours, hunched way, way over, following these footprints or, snake prints back to the archway, back to their little alcoves on either side, and then through the archway, and holds up a finger, and then beckons you into the next room. You can see it's a larger circular room, and then you can see on the far end there appears to be kind of a platform with a kind of an altar-looking thing on it, and then a series of 6 statues over on the far end. As Lenath waves you through, on a +10, Lenath also gets to choose one, gain a bit of useful information about your quarry, or determine what caused the trail to end. And I think the useful bit of information is that you can see, Lenath, you can see which 2 of these things left tracks, as opposed to the other 4 of them, which appear to just be regular old statues. There's one in the middle, and there's one way off to the left side. So, Lenath points them out to the both of you. You don't know if these creatures can see you when they're in sort of frozen mode. You're not sure, but you do know that when Lenath points them out, they don't move yet. So you've got a chance here to perhaps get one up on them. So you got one in the middle, one way off to the left-hand side. What do we like, teams? There is only one door to go to, but unfortunately, it appears to be very close to this stage where these creatures are currently hiding. And I'm putting that in quotes because you got their number. But yes. Yep, Halvir's looking around and determines that there is indeed just the one door here. Halvir is going to attempt to go around them. Okay, are you going to try and sneak, or are you just going to try and, just power through? How you doing it, Xander? Sneak. Okay, go ahead and defy danger with dexterity for me. We shall see whether or not you're able to sneak on through. Okay. A 5 on 2d6. Ooh, you would need a +2 to get you into medium success range. Let's see, our dexterity is a +1, so that gets you to 6. Can anyone aid you? Does one of our other teams want to throw an aid down? Because that could get you to a 7. It'd be dangerous, but it wouldn't be a full failure. I think that's what Lenath is going to try and do. So we're going to roll plus bond, so it's going to be +1. I'm going to roll 2d6, and we'll see what happens here. Okay. Okay, +1. So that's a 9. Okay, that's pretty solid. And I think Lenath is going to try and distract these things by sending the hawk on a wide circle around nearby you, Halvir, to deflect some of this attention. However, that only gets it up to a partial success. And what that means is that you are going to, you're still going to take some of this attention. You didn't get through entirely unnoticed. I think as you're sneaking through, this hawk swoops down, and you can see right before the hawk arrives, one of these creatures turns its head toward you. All 6 of the statues around here are human-shaped. They're all about 3 feet tall, and there's a statue, and you can see the cold, blank sandstone eyes snap toward you. It's a statue of, it looks like a woman in robes holding a large pot, and it snaps its head toward you with its cold, spooky eyes, and the hawk swoops down in front of it just in time to mostly obscure you. However, it only makes it a partial success. So let's see, what kind of trouble do we like for this? And by the way, anyone who is who wants to join in the mob can go ahead and give me a letter here. if they want to give me an idea of what to do next, because we've got a chance to make a bit of a move here. On a 7 to 9, you're going to stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Let's see. I think it's going to be a worse outcome. I think what happens here is the statue starts after you, the hawk swoops in, distracts it for a moment, and then you get through the doorway. And as you look back for your companions, you can see this small 3-foot-tall humanoid statue poking its head around the edge of the archway. So your slightly worse outcome is that you are now separated from your compatriots. Halvir. So Halvir is in the next room. However, I will describe to you while I'm waiting for the next team orders. Whoever's up next can go ahead and put that in chat, and I will take care of that as I finish describing what Halvir sees. So Halvir, you are now in what looks like an amphitheater. It's still this sort of ruins sort of motif, and you can hear the crowd around you echoing now in this big echoey area. It looks like it is sunken down about 4 steps, and then in the center of it, there is a little circle where the speaker would typically stand. Within this, you can see I think it's it would be 2 doors down at the base. There is one that ducks off to the left, one that ducks off to the right, and they look like they sort of descend slightly below ground. You don't know which one is going to take you to the take you closer to your ultimate goal of this artifact in the center, but that's what you see. You can also see lining the walls at either end of each one of these 4 steps. There is a statue of some sort, and you'll have to make a Defy Danger with Wisdom. You get a +1 to being able to spot them. Defy Danger with Wisdom to try and spot which ones are creatures and which ones are just statues. So total of 8 of them. Meanwhile, back in the other room, what's going on with Celius and Lenath? I think we determined that Lenath had a partial success in their attempt to aid Halvir, so Lenath is going to incur some wrath from one of these creatures. The one that didn't go to the door. So there was the one in the center. That was the maiden that rushed off and is now separating one. Now it's separating the 2 rooms, and then the other one on the far side is going to run at Lenath. This creature is in the shape of, it looks like sort of a vaguely bard-looking kind of individual, a dwarven bard, and so it's even a bit shorter than the other ones. But it is going to rush forward, and with its stone lute, it is going to take just a smashing whack at Lenath here. Let's see. Let's see, 4, and I believe you've got 1 armor, Lenath. Let me just verify that really quickly. Nope, that ain't the one. Okay. Lenath has 1 armor, so you're going to take 3 of that 4 damage for a total of 5 out of 8 hit points right now. That's what you're at, not how many you removed. So your current hit points is 5 out of 8. Okay. There are 2 clear and present targets now. They have rushed out of here and blown their position. There's one standing in the doorway. It doesn't appear to know whether to follow Halvir or to stay in here and deal with Celius and Lenath. And the other one is, of course, right in front of Lenath. But they're both visible. They're not hidden anymore. I'm especially curious what Celius is up to at the moment. What are we doing? What's the sitch, Wade? Outside, you can hear...
A creature disguised as a dwarven bard takes an enormous smash on the ranger, Lenath. It appears that Halvir is separated from his...
I don't believe we've determined genders for these folks yet. I think that's probably something we'll do over the course of the weekend up in the Discord.
Halvir the wizard is separated from their companions.
All right, going to hack and slash the bard from Celius. And don't forget, Celius, you have some additional options that you can pursue here. You can do things like, what are you waiting for? The upper hand isn't going to apply right now, but possibly your Herculean appetites could apply right now as well. What are you waiting for? Might be some good options. Okay. And on a 9 out of 2d6, plus 2, that is going to take you up to an 11. That is a full success. So you're going to deal your damage and avoid their attack. You manage to get an enormous slash across this thing. And I think you in a sweep that goes from down to upward, you manage to fully separate the arms, the sandstone arms holding onto this stone lute that it just used to bash Lenath. I think the camera shot is one. It's very low. It's near the creature's feet, and you can see the enormous hooves of Celius behind it in the background. But you see a lute still held by 2 sandstone arms drop onto the ground, and then immediately following that, a dwarven head of sandstone hits the sand, and then the entire body, lute, head, and all dissolves into the sand. And you manage to defeat another one of these things, which means there's only the one between you and the door now. There's only the one, I guess it's in the doorway, technically. And Halvir, over on the other side, what are you getting up to? I will, by the way, take orders from any team, even though, for instance, Celius just went.
Celius the Hungry.
I should go back and do some announcing for that. Even though Celius the Hungry just went, I would still be willing to take, orders from them, etc. Once we've got, we'll fall into a rhythm with this at some point. But from outside the arena, you can hear,
Celius the Hungry defeats another of his adversaries. A dwarven bard carved of stone.
Oh, this is fun. I think as Celius the Hungry flexes their bovine muscles, and the golden ink tattoos shimmer in the sunlight against the ruined walls here, the crowd cheers. And this is what you hear as Halvir, you are looking around at the remainder of this room. As I said before, you are in looks like a little amphitheater. There are 4 steps downward toward the center. And Halvir is going to spin around and cast Magic Missile at the one in the door. So, using the same fire blasting as before, you cast this magical fire from your fingertips on a 7. Go ahead and give me your option. Once again, for anyone new who's listening, those options are: you're going to draw unwelcome attention, you're going to disturb the fabric of reality and mess with your spellcasting, or you're going to forget this spell until the next time that you prepare spells. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you've got, so on a 7, you've got your partial success. You're going to draw some unwelcome attention, but first, you manage to annihilate this thing. I think once again, the crowd cheers as Halvir blasts this creature with arcane fire, and the creature cracks suddenly form across its sandstone surface, almost like a sand castle that's slowly crumbling, and then it falls to the ground in a pile of ashes and embers. And you can see on the inside that it is like superheated some of the sand to the point where it's glowing a little bit orange, and then it crumbles back down. So, Halvir, you have succeeded at clearing the doorway. So now you and your friends are no longer separated, but from over your shoulder, you can see one of the statues along the wall has suddenly moved. And it shrieks towards you in its grinding, creaking shriek. And in doing so, it is going to make an attack. Now, this could potentially be pretty dangerous. And Sandra says, some storytelling stuff, sand will turn to glass if heated. I think I like that. Yeah, I think in my head you hadn't heated it up quite enough. That would be more of a fireball thing, you know, once you can cast at some higher levels. But why the heck not? I think you do see like little shimmering bits of glass in there among the sand that you just roasted this creature from. Okay, let's see. What was I doing? Okay, so over your shoulder you can see one of the statues here in the amphitheater rushes toward you. It appears to be the shape of a horse, and it looks like it's going to try and just bowl you over. So I'm going to take a quick roll here. Let's see what kind of damage it does. A 5. Uh-oh. Okay. So now, some of y'all remember, you have had arena fights before. This is something that you know. Javier has dropped to 0 hit points. This is bad. It's not as bad as if it were to happen outside of the arena, because you know that once you sink into the arena sands, and I think Javier already starts to feel that happening, you will emerge on the other side unscathed. Now, the people of Racedis Towers, this magical metropolis, they don't necessarily know why that is. There's a lot that's unknown about the arena and its inner workings, the magic that keeps it running. You hear shrieks and screams from outside in the stands as people who you are starting to win over are suddenly shocked by you're getting bowled over by this horse. And I think this creature, this creature that is currently in the shape of a sandstone horse, runs towards you, lowers its head, and you take a massive hit kind of across the hip. And it spins you sideways and knocks you flat on the ground. So let's head to the special moves section and find out what happens on a last breath. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change the scene here so that we can all read the text together. On a last breath. When you are dying, you catch a glimpse of what lies beyond the black gates of Death's kingdom. I'm going to describe it here. I'm going to describe it with an additional note. You see the black gates of Death's kingdom. Strangely, you see a group of 6 black and white sort of specters gliding toward you. But they move in unison as if to sort of a choreographed performance as they advance toward you. Javier, you are sinking into the sand, and you've had this experience before. It is not pleasant. But go ahead and roll. This is going to be a... actually, you don't have a button for just 2d6, so I'm going to hit the button for you. Again, it's in chat, so I don't have any control over it. You know, I promise I would never cheat the rules here for that. That wouldn't make things much fun. But I'm going to roll on a 10 plus. You have cheated death. You're in a bad spot, but you are still alive. On a 7 to 9, death is going to offer you a bargain. You can take it and stabilize, or refuse and pass beyond the black gates into whatever fate awaits you. Now, you know that in the arena itself, the magic that binds the magic bound in the arena will pull you back from those black gates. But it will mean that you are out of this particular fight. On a miss, your fate is sealed. You are marked as Death's own, and you will cross the threshold soon. The GM will tell you when. Okay, so... You are, Javier, your vision is fading. You are passing underneath the sand. And I am going to make that roll for you. Here we go. An 8, so that is a partial success. Okay. Here's what happens. You look into the darkness. Oh. Brought up the wrong screen here. That's all right. You look into the darkness of the kingdom of death. You can see there are all sorts of black pillars. They look like carved black pillars that twist and bend in... I don't know if y'all are familiar with like MC Escher, but they bend and twist in ways that don't seem to make sense to you visually. And these 6 black and white figures, they look like sort of almost like cloaks and veils that are disembodied. They don't have a person inside them, but they move almost as if they are a combination of, like, as if they were moved by wind, but also they had people in them moving in this synchronized kind of dance toward you. They stop suddenly. And they look at you. And one of them steps forward and says in the voice of death itself, "There will come a time when Lenath must be delivered to us. When the time comes, you must deliver Lenath." Now, Team Halvir, you don't know precisely what this means. But you know that Death is asking for you to be somehow involved when Lenath passes. Whether Death is asking for you to be involved in the passing itself, or whether, Death wants you to be, present and available to sort of usher through. But it does seem that, so Sander has answered no. And I think right now Sander is our sort of main pilot for Halvir. And so if anyone else on Team Halvir would like to jump in, you can feel free to do so. And we can sort of suss this out all together. But it looks like Halvir, from where you are, sort of half submerged in the sand, your vision has gone completely to this these black gates where the 6 figures stand, now still, except for the undulating of their sort of flowing robes and veils. The movement has stopped, but you bring your head up from where it, you're sort of looking down at where you lay, and instead of the yellow sands of the arena, you are now in this jet black sand, which, as it runs between your fingertips, you're on the ground, on your front, just like looking up at these figures, and the sand that moves through your fingers appears to be almost invisible when it is set against the black of itself. It's so black that your hand just disappears into it. And you look up, Halvir, and you answer Death. No. And once again, join us tomorrow on the Discord, and over the course of the week, we're going to be deciding on what voices I use for these folks. But Halvir looks up and answers no. Halvir will not be involved in bringing Lenath to death. Delivering Lenath. Halvir refuses. And as such, the black and white figure that stepped forward from the 6 steps back now. And they walk seemingly backwards, back through the dark gate, and as they do so, your vision fades. And you catch, as you pass down into the sand of the arena, no longer the black sands of the Kingdom of Death, but now the yellow sand once again of the arena. The last thing you hear as you pass down below the sand is,
"So passes Lenath."
Nope. Dang it, I messed it up.
"So passes Halvir the Wizard. Bravely fought, adventurer."
And Halvir is out of this particular fight. However, Halvir, I am going to be coming back to you. This is not the end of your day here. But it's not the last thing to happen here in the arena. So, back in the arena with Celius and Lenath, you have just watched your companion pass down underneath the sand. You've been where Halvir was. You've been where Halvir was before. You have had to make these, you've had to make possibly such deals in the past. Other times you have simply been too wounded. There was no chance you were coming back, and you've passed immediately through the sand. And then, of course, you have sent countless creatures through the sand themselves. you know that when you leave the arena at sundown, Halvir will emerge sore but unscathed from the sand of the arena. But you are still in this fight, and you still got a mission here. Celius and Lenath, what is it you would like to do? What's the gig? What are y'all heading to do next? The two creatures in this room, the sandstone figures, have been destroyed. However, you did just watch a one shaped like a horse absolutely bowl into your companion. Do your best, team. Yeah, you can feel the calming spirit of Halvir somewhere near you, possibly underneath you. What do we like? And keep in mind for the future that teams Celius and Lenath know nothing of the what Halvir experienced while underneath the sand there, unless Team Halvir eventually decides to tell the other teams. Okay. I think I'm going to take a quick turn for Lenath here, unless somebody else wants to jump in and pilot for Lenath. What do we like? I am going to... I think we're going to take a called shot here. We're going to do a called shot at the legs, which is going to prevent this creature from moving any further. Actually, I'll go for the head then, because it'll do nothing but stand still and drool for a few moments. So going to try and take a called shot, which means that there's a slightly, there's a chance that they won't do damage, but they will have some effect on the battlefield at large. It'll make it sit still for probably for Celius to come in and give a good solid whack. So that is a 7 plus Dex 8, 9. Fantastic. Still a partial success. It's not a 10 plus, which would be a full success, but you are going to manage to knock the thing in the head. So as it rushes past the doorway, you saw that it bowled over Halvir, and while this was happening in the sand, this creature passes through the doorway and then passes back around to return to its original position, because it seems like that's probably the best hiding spot. But Quick Draw Lenath manages to snipe the thing in the head, at which point it does nothing but stand still and drool for a few moments, which leaves it very open to an attack from Celius. So Celius, if you would like to do so, you can definitely do that. Otherwise, we shall see what happens next. Yeah, Celius, what do you want to do? You've got a dumbfounded horse statuette over immediately inside the arch of the doorway, leading you into the amphitheater beyond. What would you like to do, Celius? Celius is going to pursue your Herculean appetite for conquest. Okay. Fantastic. And I do think that this applies. I think this is, conquest is part of... I would say this is maybe a shy one. I would say in the future, for arena fights, maybe Fame and Glory could be a better friend to you, but I will definitely allow it this time. It's all a learning experience, of course. But here in the arena, unless you've got a different reason you want it to be for conquest versus Fame and Glory. But what this allows you to do is kind of pursue it recklessly. And so what you're going to do is you've rolled, instead of 2d6, you roll a d6 and a d8, which gives you a higher chance of succeeding. But if the d6 is higher than the d8, which in this case it appears that it is, the GM will introduce a complication or danger that comes about due to your heedless pursuit. So, Team Mob. Anyone who wants to duck into the Join the Mob menu, you're not going to be able to do this if you have already joined a PC team, but NPCs, you can help me sort this one out. So I'm going to make a decision, but if any of you jump in with one of the options from the Join the Mob menu, I will go ahead and accept that. So let's see. What kind of action do we like here? Let's see. I think you're in a bit of trouble. By the way, go ahead and, what move were you trying to do? Was it going to be a hack and slash? Because I forgot that essentially what you're doing here is you're taking a different move, but Herculean Appetite allows you to change the dice that you use for that move. So we're going to take this roll still, but what move are you trying to do? Unless you pop in, I'm probably going to assume it was a hack and slash. 10, yep, hack and slash, okay. 10, 11, 12, okay, fantastic. So that is a full success, which means you definitely do your damage here. And so if you want to give me a hack and slash in, you can just throw the hack and slash in there and it will spit out the appropriate damage for me. Hack and slash, okay. On a D10, that is a 7. Okay, so you managed to, you take this horse completely in half. You are watching the last of Halvir sink into the sand below. You watch the last of Halvir's robes disappear underneath, and immediately on top of that, you cleave this horse creature in twain. Its front legs separated from its back legs, and the two halves just sort of creak and fall over onto the sand. But as a result of your reckless rush forward, I think Celius probably gives out a sort of war cry as they pursue their Herculean Appetite. I am going to, let's see, let me just remind myself once more of the specific text of this Herculean Appetite thing. If the 6 is higher of the pair, the GM will also introduce a complication or danger that comes about due to your heedless pursuits. I think you're just going to get ganged up on. Yeah, Sandra says, thanks for avenging me. Yeah, I think perhaps some deep part of your awareness, Halvir, knows that you have been avenged up above. So, you absolutely cut this thing in half. But, Celius, as a result, you have awoken a number of the other statues along the sides here. It looks like 2 of them rush you, and one of them is going to, one of them gets focused on the door, but one of them is absolutely going to attack you. So you are now separated from Lenath on the other side. I don't know why I rolled 2d6 again. A 6. Ooh, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. A 6. Celius? And it knocks it down to a 5, but you are still at 0 hit points out of 9. This has been a tough fight so far. So, you... Let's see, where is your... Okay, so you have a special move. It is called the Upper Hand. You take a +1 ongoing to last breath rolls. When you take your last breath on a 7 to 9, you make an offer to death in return for your life. If death accepts, he will return you to life. If not, you die. Okay. So this is a little different for our barbarian. First of all, you take a +1. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to go ahead and roll this into chat there. So a 7. So that brings it up to an 8. So for the barbarian, you actually get the opportunity to set the bargain here. And so anyone from Team Celius can go ahead and put one in chat right now. If we have to arbitrate, then I'll put them in the poll and we can decide between them there. But someone from Team Celius the Hungry, go ahead and make an offer to death in return for leaving you in this fight. While you're thinking, while you're typing, outside in the arena, you hear another massive roar from everyone watching this fight. This is what they show up for. The Racedis Arena is entertainment for everyone, and this is as entertaining as it gets. A knockdown, drag out fight between the magic of the arena, the challenges that it produces, and adventurers that they are starting to be fans of. They're liking they are chomping your flavor, folks. You hear the announcer. Let's see, what shape did those things take? The ones that came off the wall. I think one of them was in the shape of, let's see, probably a string player. So like someone holding a violin has used their violin, much like the dwarf did. This one's an elf, however. The elf bashes you over the head, right in the skull, right between the horns. Michaela Money, hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. We have just it's been a hell of a fight here, Michaela Money. I'm gonna finish this and then hey, Carzy Lizard. I will get y'all caught up on where we're at. So this elven bard statue smacks Celius between the eyes with this stone violin. The crowd goes absolutely wild, and the announcer is saying,
Celius the Hungry takes an enormous hit between the eyes from the creature spawned by the arena. Oh, Celius goes down! Celius on his knees fighting for his life. We've seen him come back.
Not him. We have not yet decided on genders for these folks. We're going to do that this week. You can still join Team Halbeer. I'll get into that in just a second.
What will Celius the Hungry offer Death in exchange for remaining in this fight?
And Tuna says, can I offer a brutal death to the statues? Okay, I'm going to return to that in just a second. That is what you offer. I'll let you know in just a second whether death takes you up on your offer. For those of you who are just catching up, we are in an arena fight. As y'all know, after an arena fight, even if you die during an arena fight, the magic of the arena will heal you and then spit you out the other side at sundown. So, you can feel free to join whichever team you like. I'm not done with any of the teams for today. But so far, Halbeer has rejected an offer from Death and passed into the arena. Halbeer is out of this fight for right now. Celius has just taken a massive hit after a couple of significant hits before and is now offering a bargain to Death in exchange for staying in the fight, and Lenath is doing okay, but definitely not at full health. Okay, so Luis Allen, hey, welcome. Yep, Carzy Lizard, Michaela Money, Luis Allen, good to have y'all here. Very, very good to have y'all here. Okay, so and Jasmine too. Hey. Yeah, I saw the numbers bumped up really quickly. I was wondering who was joining in. We are, however, I will warn you, we're about 10 minutes from the end here. But you are on your knees, Celius, swaying back and forth. Your vision is blurred. You can see additional statues around you starting to move. And from the closest of the 6 black and white figures that are sort of moving in their choreographed way towards you as the sand around you turns black in your vision, the figure turns, rejoins their group, and once again they shuffle backward. But they decide not to bring you with them. However, you have promised a brutal death for these creatures out here. So, in exchange, you're going to need to do exactly that in order to satisfy death. And as your vision starts to return to you, let's see, your last breath. Fate is sealed. Okay, so it doesn't say exactly what you return with, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be 1 hit point for right now. So, I mean, certainly not ideal. Yep, everyone, Tuna Sunday is correct. Feel free to read the rules, and then if you can join a team, go ahead and do so. There are some additional requirements, but they're not very strict right now. Dapsterblook, welcome. Hello, just popped in for my first stream. Came from the Harry Potter readings. This seems interesting. I tell you what, Dapsterblook, it is super interesting. We are just watching as our barbarian returns from the realm of death, from the kingdom of death. And you take a shaky step and you stand up once again, Celius. You can see your vision is still a little bit shaky. You can see the other creatures moving around behind in your vision around you in your peripherals. But you have promised death a spectacular brutal death for these statues. And it seems like death does have some interest here. While you were across on the other side, the voice of death expressed to you, killing in the arena, sapping its life force, weakening it bit by bit. Yes, I accept your offering. Yep, Louis Allen, you can join the mob, and that will let you help me decide how to challenge our players, or you can join the party, and you can choose one of our 3 adventurers and join that team. Once you do join a team, it is basically permanent, so keep an eye on that. Ultimately, do whichever one you feel like your playstyle is going to align with the most. Do you feel like you're kind of an investigator? Do you feel kind of reserved, or do you feel reckless? Okay, and Celius, you are back on your feet. I've given you 1 hit point. Louis Allen, welcome to Team Lenaith. Fantastic to have you here. Go ahead and take a look around. If you want to spam some controls in chat just to get the hang of things, you can feel free to do so now. Yes, Team Celius, what are you getting up to right now? What would you like to do? You have promised death a spectacular showing here. What would you like to do? And you've definitely got available targets in front of you here. That is for sure. Lenaith, I think, while you're sort of getting the hang of things, brutally attack. Okay, sounds good. Dapsterblook. Okay, so I do have some additional requirements. You might not meet them quite yet, Dapsterblook. I've got some stuff set up inside the system. It's all automatic. You should be able to join one soon, but I do have it set up such that people can't just come in here and throw our adventurers off cliffs and such. So hopefully soon. And Sandra's wondering, if you don't do what you offered to death, then do you die? I don't know. I don't think you would die immediately, but death is definitely coming for you. And certainly the next time that you show up at death's door, if you did not provide, I mean, I'm going to say like probably an automatic -1 to your final breath rolls, and possibly additional stuff as well. Okay, see you in a bit, Luis. And Dapsterblock, just gonna watch for a bit. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, you can sort of get a sense for how play flows through. Meanwhile, we've got a hack and slash from Celius the Hungry. Hacking and slashing on the closest one. When you attack in melee, you're going to roll plus strength. Okay, so that is a 10 on 2d6. Plus 2, so that's a 12. So you have done quite well. That is a full success. You definitely managed to smack this thing. You smacked the hell out of this thing. I think this one holding the violin that just got you between the eyes, I think it sort of overhand just bashed you on the forehead, and I think in return you overhand slice at this thing, and you managed to do some significant damage. I think you cut you managed to cut the violin out of the creature's arm, so it just holds up its little nubs of arms. It is of course made out of sandstone. It's about a 3-foot tall statue creature that was hidden until a moment ago, and now you have cut the sandstone violin away from it, so it's weaponless, but it is still alive. And I will say, you have indeed upped the brutality here. You went ahead and cut away part of it before it died. Because I think everyone from Team Lenath is currently AFK, I'm going to go ahead and take an action for Team Lenath. If somebody else from Team Lenath goes ahead and takes an action, that will take precedent over what I do. So go ahead, Team Lenath, anyone who wants to jump in. Otherwise, I'm going to take a quick one for Team Lenath here. Let's see. What do we like? What do we like here? I think I like... The options are a little bit limited right now as you guys are so low level, but as I said before, at least one of you is going to be leveling up before next session. We're going to do that in tomorrow's Spout Lore session. Okay. I think Lenath is going to use the Animal Companion and try to take a shot and add the ferocity of your hawk onto our attack here. So here is the Volley Attack. 6 plus 2, that's a 7 and an 8. So that is going to definitely hit. I don't remember what the damage is. It's for the it's per character, and I believe it's going to be a D6. Nope, it's a D8. Okay, so I'm going to roll a D8, and I'm going to add the I'm going to add 3. All right, where's our D8? There we go. Okay, so a total of 4. Okay, so this creature that is standing in front of Celius, suddenly an arrow swings, just sails over your shoulder, Celius, and smashes into this creature. And at the exact same time, a hawk dives over your shoulder. You know this hawk. It's fish. The hawk belonging to Lenath. Lenath's hawk dives over your shoulder and scrabbles at this arrow, pulling on it such that it yanks free from the sandstone and just busts the head of this sandstone statue into 100 pieces, and the rest of the statue falls to the ground. And you can feel a rumble from the black sands of death. It is pleased so far. But that was a partial success. So let me check on Volley really quickly. I want to make sure I don't have to do anything extra here. Volley. On a partial success, you have to make one of the 3 choices here, either, and if someone's on Team Lenath, you can go ahead and let me know which one of these you would like. Otherwise, I'll just make a decision. You have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. You have to take what you can get, and take minus 1d6 damage, or you have to move to get the shot, placing you in danger of the GM's choice. I think you've got plenty of ammo right now, so I'm guessing Team Lenath would want me to just knock down 1 off of that ammo. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so you're at 4 ammo right now, but you definitely managed to destroy one of those creatures. Now, we are rounding up on the end here. Team Halvir. You are in sort of the dream state that exists as you sink through the sand of the arena. You've experienced this dream state before. And you think back to your first meeting with Lenath. It must have been Death's offer that sort of made you aware of this, but you think back to your first meeting with Lenath, and I think I'm just going to ask you some questions here, and we can use this to build out the lore of what happened. You were performing a ritual. This was part of your elemental magic. I think you were performing possibly some sort of, earth-based ritual. It was something that you either hadn't tried on this magnitude before, or it was a new effect that you were trying to have. What is it you were trying to accomplish with that ritual back when you first met Lenath? It was in the wilderness. You had gone out to a place of power that you knew of when Lenath stumbled upon you, or possibly you stumbled upon Lenath. What was that ritual for? You can go ahead and give me that answer in chat when you've got a moment. Meanwhile, back in real space, Celius, what do you do? You've just watched this creature explode in front of you, and you've got a chance to possibly whip around and attack another one, or you can try and just charge forward and take control of this artifact that you think is probably pretty close. You see 2 doors in front of you, and you can try to make a check to see if you can suss out which way this artifact might be. You did promise death. It is true. It's true. Yep, Tuna Sunday says, I promised death. And you did indeed. And you've delivered on at least part of it so far. You've done a good job thus far of it. All right, Celius the Hungry is going to hack and slash the man behind me. Okay, so another one of the statues is behind you. Oof, you rolled a 2. You rolled a 2. No good. No good, fella. Unfortunately, yep, so Celius says, and we don't have a voice from them yet, but Celius says, oh no. And I think, as you spin around to try and cleave this creature in twain, you miss. Your sword clangs against the doorway behind you, and this creature turns its attentions to you. It appears to be a little halfling, but as you turn, you can see it is holding what look like drumsticks, like, percussion that you use for percussion, but they are very sharp. And its little blank halfling face turns up toward you, and it suddenly lunges. And it is going to deal some damage to you. Michaela Money, welcome back. So, I'm going to roll our d6. A 4, will knock it down to a 3. Your armor will knock it down to a 3, but that is not enough. And you advance. You advance into the Black Gates. And I think at this point, part of this is because we are at the end of our session here. I am not going to have you... Actually... No, I'm not going to have you. In the future, you would get to, but we're at the end of a session here. Because you did not deliver for death, because you got part of the way there, but unfortunately, you didn't do enough for death here. The choreographed movement of the 6 black and white figures advances toward you, and you, like Halvir, even though I didn't describe this before, and I should have, you are picked up by these 6 creatures, and you float through the air across the black sands of death as they dance forward. And you start to hear music. And then you fade into the darkness of the sands of the arena. Out beyond the ruined walls around you, the arena announcer once again pipes up.
A glorious passing for Celius the Hungry. We will surely see their glory once more in a future fight. This leaves only Lenath.
And Lenath is now alone. Alone in the arena. Dapster Blook, I am very happy to hear that. And Henny the Penny, Welcome to Scooter Patrol. Very good to have you here. All right. So, and I will, Javier, I really like that. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment here as we sort of finish up the session. So our ranger is going to, I think, they're just going to try and run past them. So they're going to make a dexterity saving throw. So this is going to be 2d6 plus 2 for their dexterity. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there. Henn the Penny, Michaela Money, welcome to Scooter Patrol. It's very good to have y'all here. That's a 6, 7, and an 8, so they're going to try and dodge past and just tear off down and try and perceive which way they should go next. So it's going to be another, this is going to be a, actually, let's see, maybe a spout lore. Let's see. What kind of move do I want them to make to try and see if they can get through in the right direction? You know what? I already said it was going to be an intelligence check, so they're going to make an intelligence check. They've got a +1, so they're in pretty good shape there. I want to make it clear they've already incurred 1 partial success. Scooter Patrol is just what we call our little group of people here at Sidecar Stories. Okay, an 8 up to a 9. Okay, so that's 2 partial successes. So, I think what happens is, let's see. First of all, Leneth is going to take some damage. One of them gets her as Leneth tears. I keep saying her. I keep assigning genders to these people. They don't have genders yet. We're going to do that in the Discord this week. Okay, a 5. Oof. Ooh, that might be very, very bad news here for the ranger. A 5, but 1 armor. Okay, so down to 1 hit point. Leneth drops down to 1 hit point. Very wounded as you proceed. I think your other one is that you are, I think you're confused. You're trying to just tear through here. You don't have a great moment to decide where you're going to go next, but the magic of the arena and the mystery of the maze that you've been running through has finally gotten to you, and you are confused. So you're going to take -1 to wisdom checks until the next time you have a chance to rest. But you have arrived. You've made it. You get in, and Dapstra Blook says, Leneth hurts themselves in their confusion. Indeed. But Leneth, you have emerged into the proper room, and you see up on this platform the artifact. You did, in fact, manage to dodge past the enemies behind you, and so I'm going to carry that forward. And Leneth, you run up onto the platform, and you see the artifact. It is a staff with golden wings on top of it and a red jewel in the center. It is stuck into a little slot in this platform, up on top of this sort of ziggurat-shaped platform, and you pull it up from the slot in the platform. You can see the door that you just emerged from. All 8 of those statues. Let's see, it's -2 because you did manage to eliminate 2 of them. So 6 of these statues are just like crawling and tearing their way through the sand. They are climbing the ziggurat, and you pull out this staff, and as they burst through the doorway, as they climb up this thing, they get slower and slower, and they're dissolving into just the sand from which they are comprised. And the final one, it appears to be a minotaur harpist. So it's a minotaur carrying a harp. It's only 3 feet tall, so it's dramatically smaller than your companion, but it claws its way up to the very top, and it reaches you just your cloak before the final parts of it dissolve into the sand. And all 6 of these statues fall just as a cascade of sand back down the sides of this ziggurat pyramid. And the crowd goes crazy. The crowd goes crazy as Leneth pulls this out of the plinth, out of this platform, and you are victorious. You have succeeded in your fight. Your battle has gone well. You have lost 2 companions in the midst of this, but you managed to succeed. You know that they will emerge at sunset today. The magic of the sands of the arena will heal them and bear them out to fight another day. But Lenath, you above the sand, you know that you have successfully you have made a name for yourselves. This was a tough fight. People respect fighters that go through and lose a lot before they succeed, and you have definitely made a name for yourselves. And you walk toward an arch that has now opened up in one of the walls that will lead you into the bowels of the arena, back where you can rejoin your companions later on in your locker room underneath. And in the sands, Halvir still dreams. Halvir dreams of the ritual they were trying to cast, trying to gain more power of the elements, to learn the ability to cast the elements as weapons, magic missiles, because Halvir had not yet mastered that ability. In the wilderness here, I think, Halvir, you are remembering the time that you spent, all of the preparation, the journey that you had to take to get here, the resources you had to collect in order to cast this ritual, that would allow you to unlock the secret of weaponizing the elements. And you suddenly get to a point where you see someone has stumbled upon you. The elements themselves reveal that someone is coming. They are sneaking up upon you, and you get the direction that it's from, but you don't see precisely who it is. You know that you're being watched. Lenath, as your companions sink below the sand, you may have thought about this too. The first time that you met Halvir the wizard. Both of you elves, both of you out in the wilderness. And you remember what it is you came upon when you arrived there. Halvir was chanting incantations over a wide circle drawn in earth formed of stones. The drawings that were carved into the earth were full of water. There were fires burning. And Halvir stands taking deep breaths and chanting out this incantation. And then suddenly, Halvir opens their eyes and looks directly at you, Lenath. You thought you were hidden. You thought you had done a good job. Looks directly at you, Lenath, and you don't know what Halvir saw. But Halvir's eyes suddenly glazed over looking at you, and a very strange expression crossed their face. Halvir, you remember this moment. You remember what you saw. You saw the mark of death on Lenath. You didn't know what it meant. You didn't know when it would come to pass, but after death's offer to you, you remember this moment that you had with Lenath that caused you to be bonded forever. One of the bonds that we've got here is that Lenath will play an important role in events to come. I have foreseen it, and you have indeed foreseen it, Halvir. And we will be learning more about this tomorrow during our Spout Lore session. It is not going to be a stream, it just happens on the Discord. Please join us for that, but as we all fade into the sand, the sands of the Racedis Arena, you know that you've all been successful. And when you go outside to meet Ugene, your manager, he is ecstatic. And that's where we're done for today. So, it has been a fantastic session, I feel. We are going to call the end of it right here. We're going to talk tomorrow about the various XP issues. And then also, don't forget, some of you have leveled up here. So, especially Team Celius, I'm going to have to take a look and figure out, let's see, did anybody else level up? Barbarian is at level 9, or excuse me, 9 XP, and the Ranger and the Wizard are both at 6. So I think it's just going to be Celius for right now, unless, some things happen during the XP doling out. like I said, we're going to do that tomorrow. We'll talk about it then. So please join me then. That'll be in the Discord at the same time as it started today. So 1 o'clock Pacific time. Dapsterblook says, out of curiosity, what chapter are you in Harry Potter? Shoot. Let's see. We're going to start with chapter 5 tonight. That's where we're at. And I will see you back here for that in 45 minutes. So in interest of getting out of here in an almost timely fashion, I hope you have enjoyed this quite a bit. Additionally, I have just set up a Patreon. I am super excited to have that, to just to be in a time period, to be living in a time period where that is available. I've considered it in the past, and I, of course, expect nothing. I'm going to continue to do what I do here, but I learned a little bit about the founder, and he's somebody that I didn't realize was the founder of Patreon, but I respect him for the work that I've seen him do so far, and so just... I'm excited for the opportunity to live in a time when it's possible to offer support like that to people, and I've done so for other creators that I've really enjoyed. It's been RPG stuff mainly, and so like I said, I recognize right now is a tough time for a lot of people. So I expect nothing now, and I expect nothing in the future. But I figured I would set it up. I'd throw it out there. You'll be able to find the links to that in all of my descriptions and such below. You'll have that later. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. Please join the Discord. That's where we're going to be doing our Spout Lore session tomorrow. And of course, we have to level up. Celius is going to get to do some cool, interesting new things. And as usual, I will see you in 45 minutes for Harry Potter. Bye-bye, everybody. It's been an absolute blast.